According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, an automotive service technician earned a median pay of $15.80 per hour in the year 2012. Let T be the number of hours worked at that rate as an automotive service technician. For Part A, we're asked to fill in the following table showing the arithmetic expression used to calculate the gross earnings for working a certain number of hours. Looking at the table, notice how the first column gives us the number of hours worked represented by the variable T. The second column gives the total gross earnings. Well, the total gross earnings would have to be equal to the pay rate times the number of hours, which in this situation would be $15.80 per hour times the number of hours given by the variable T. So if we assume the second column already has the units of dollars for our expression, we can drop the units of dollars and write the expression as 15.8 times T. Notice how we can drop the 0 in the hundreds place value for 15.80 because 15 and 80 hundredths is equal to 15 and 8 tenths. So now we can use this expression to determine the total gross earnings. So if 0 hours are worked, the total gross earnings would be 15.8 times $0, which is 0. If 1 hour is worked, the total gross earnings would be 15.8 times $1, which should be 15.8, which represents $15.80. If 2 hours are worked, the earnings would be 15.8 times $2, which would be $30.6, which represents $30.60. And finally, if 3 hours are worked, the earnings would be 15.8 times $3, which would be $47.4, which would be $47.40. For Part B, using the pattern from Part A, write an expression for the total gross earnings in terms of T, which we already did. That would be 15.8 T. Part C, we're asked to evaluate the expression for T equals 15. So if we substitute 15 for T in our expression, we would have 15.8 times 15. Let's go ahead and find this product on the calculator. So 15.8 times 15 is equal to 237. Now for Part D, we're asked, what does the value of T from Part C mean? In Part C, we were given T equals 15. Well, if T equals 15, looking at the table, this tells us the number of hours worked. So if T equals 15, we know there were 15 hours worked. In Part E, what does the value of the expression in Part C mean in this situation? By substituting 15 for T, this expression gives us the total gross earnings in dollars, and therefore we know that if 15 hours are worked, $237 are earned. And then finally for Part F, we're asked to extend the table to find the number of hours needed to work to gross $252.80. However, instead of using the table, let's use this expression here to determine the number of hours that the technician must work to earn $252.80. If we set the expression at 15.8 T, which gives us the total gross earnings equal to 252.8, we can now solve the equation for T to answer the question. To solve this equation for T, we divide both sides by 15.8. On the left side, this simplifies to 1T or T equals this quotient, which we'll find on the calculator. 252.8 divided by 15.8 is equal to 16. So now we know the technician must work 16 hours in order to gross $252.80. I hope you found this helpful.